a way that, like, okay, you're saying something that's actually factually inaccurate according to the narrative. Now, let's be real clear. I don't necessarily think they know what's going on yet. There's a lot of weird shit going on with this.
I know.
Swirly.
I almost texted you when the Charlie Kirk thing happened because my antennas went up about, they showed the photo of that kid, or the guy that they have, the 22-year-old, whatever. And I was almost going to be like, dude.
This kid had a rifle with a scope. Now, here's where it gets weird. The first images of this rifle with a scope, I swear to God, it looks like he has a composite stock on it. Like, it looks like a modern 30-06 rifle. There was that one guy who was the decoy. All right, so you got this guy who's an older guy who starts yelling out. Didn't he take his pants down? He took his pants down. This guy was at 9/11. He was at the Boston bombings.
All the hits.
He called in a fake bomb at another place. And then he did this at this thing. Right after, so somehow or another, this guy has the state of mind that the moment someone gets shot,
The internet was, for a moment, almost quiet. It was a Tuesday. People were scrolling through algorithm-fed distractions, arguing about a movie trailer, and sharing recipes. It was normal. And then, at 2:17 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the first domino fell. It started, as it so often does, in a dimly lit studio in Austin, Texas. A clip, just 90 seconds long, was ripped from Joe Rogan's latest 4-hour marathon podcast. In it, Rogan, leaning so far into his microphone and looked like he was telling it a secret, suddenly changed topics. His guest, a physicist, looked baffled. "You know what's weird?" Rogan began, his voice dropping into that familiar, conspiratorial rumble. "I've been thinking a lot about that whole Charlie Kirk thing, the end of it. I've been quietly following that case for a long time. It never sat right with me." The clip could have died there, a random musing, but he continued. There were just too many odd details, too many contradictions that didn't sit right with him. The timeline the media pushed, it had holes you could drive a truck through. The official report, it felt clean, too clean. And nobody who was actually there seemed to want to talk about it, ever. It all just got swept under the rug, and everyone just accepted it. That was the match. The clip, posted by a small fan account, sputtered for an hour, gaining a few thousand views. Then, the gasoline. Elon Musk, who was accidentally tagged in a reply to the clip by a user with 8 followers, did the one thing he does best. He responded. He didn't post a link, he didn't add context, he just replied to the clip with a single 7-word sentence that would detonate the entire digital landscape. The truth cannot be hidden forever. That was it. That was all it took. Within an hour, Rogan, Musk, and Charlie Kirk were the top 3 trending topics on X, the platform Musk owned. Within 3 hours, the internet had completely exploded. Millions of viewers, new and old, were replaying that 90-second clip, not just listening, but analyzing. They zoomed in on Rogan's face. "Look at his eyes," one TikTok read. "He's not speculating, he knows something." They zoomed in on Rogan's face. "Look at his eyes," one TikTok read. "He's not speculating, he knows something." Body language experts emerged from the digital woodwork. "Note the brow furrow. That's not confusion, it's contained anger. He's been sitting on this." Every tiny expression, every micro pause, every fractional shift in tone between Rogan and his now silent guest was scrutinized. Why would they, two of the most powerful and scrutinized men in modern media, suddenly bring up a case that most of the world had been told was long settled? A case that had been filed away as a tragic but closed chapter. Reddit was the first to build a timeline. The r/Joe Rogan and r/conspiracy subreddits became ground zero. Threads exploded. What contradictions was Rogan talking about? One post, now with 50,000 upvotes, demanded. The old files were reopened by the court of public opinion. The 911 call was never released, one user pointed out. The primary suspect had no motive, posted another. Remember that bizarre photo? The one that was deleted from every news site an hour after it was posted? Some thought it was pure coincidence, a random thought bubble from Rogan, and a posted tweet from Musk. But the majority, the millions now glued to their screens, were convinced it was something else. It was a secret signal, a quiet way of saying something much deeper, something dangerous, without actually saying it. Whether it was intentional or not, that tiny, almost invisible exchange between a podcaster and a tech billionaire was enough to turn a fading, tragic rumor into a national and then global obsession. And once the clip went viral, it resurrected all the old whispers, all the dark questions that people have been told were disrespectful, even dangerous to ask. Suddenly, everyone was asking the same thing. Is the real story only beginning now? The escalation, the like, the widow, and the first warning. Within hours, Rogan's words were everywhere. They were chopped into 15-second TikToks, set the ominous music. They were the subject of 1,000-word Reddit deep dives. They were debated on YouTube Shorts and endlessly reposted on X. Viewers dissected every syllable, every frame, like detectives hunting for a clue everyone else had missed. Did Rogan know something the rest of the world didn't? And then, just as the speculation reached its first definite peak, Elon made his classic silent move. He didn't tweet again. He didn't post a video or issue a statement. He just liked things. It started around midnight. Observant users running scripts to track his activity noticed it first. A like on a post from a small conservative commentator. The post read, "The media ignored the real story behind Charlie Kirk's death. They were too busy protecting his widow." Like. Then another. "Candace Owens has been trying to talk about this for months, and they silenced her. Maybe now people will listen." Like. And a third. This one more direct. "Ask yourself, who benefited the most from Charlie Kirk's silence?" Like. That one small digital gesture, a simple click of a heart icon, sent social media into total, unadulterated chaos. The connection was made. This wasn't just about Rogan. This wasn't just about Musk. He was pointing directly at two people. Charlie Kirk's widow, the woman who had inherited his empire and his name, and Candace Owens, the one public figure who had for months been subtly questioning the official narrative. People were convinced something massive was brewing. The hashtags, which had been general, now became specific. They trended worldwide, in every country, on every platform. The internet, in the span of a single evening, had turned into a giant, sprawling digital detective board. Red strings of theory connected every post, every like, every old photograph. People were convinced these two powerful men, Elon and Rogan, knew something the rest of the world wasn't supposed to know. Their silence, punctuated only by these cryptic likes, only made it worse, or better, because the mystery just got deeper with every passing hour. Wild theories erupted like mushrooms after a rainstorm. Some swore Elon and Rogan were hinting at a hidden cover-up, a conspiracy so vast it involved media figures, politicians, and perhaps even law enforcement. Others, more cynical, said they were just testing the media, playing a massive psychological game to see how fast the online crowd would spiral into chaos based on nothing but suggestion. Whatever it was, the timing was too precise. The likes were too targeted. It felt intentional. It felt like a trigger that had been waiting patiently to be pulled. And then, just as the sun was rising on this new frenzied day, Candace Owens added the gasoline to the blaze. She didn't tweet. She didn't post on Instagram. She went to her notes app, typed out a short, cryptic message, screenshotted it, and posted it without a caption. I've stayed quiet long enough. I just reread something massive in my personal notes. Something I found, something I couldn't release until now. That single statement, posted at 7 a.m., sent every corner of social media into overdrive. "She has receipts," one user screamed. "It's happening," posted another. Suddenly, people started connecting dots that might not even existed. You had YouTube sleuths, Twitter thread boys, Reddit detectives, and 1,000 independent podcasts, all claiming they'd figured it out. Some insisted Candace had proof of a secret deal, a hidden arrangement among powerful insiders. Others believed Elon and Rogan were purposely stirring the pot, creating a distraction, hoping the public would uncover the truth on its own. Even the mainstream media, the same legacy outlets that normally pretend not to notice this kind of online drama, began talking about it, without really talking about it. Headlines were cautious, but baited. The internet is going wild over a cryptic Musk-Rogan exchange. Candace Owens teases new revelation in old case. But why? That question only fueled more curiosity. The denials when they came from peripheral figures didn't help. Every official sounding attempt to downplay the drama, to call it baseless speculation, just made people more suspicious. Within hours, old clips of Candace Owens were slowed down. Old quotes from Charlie Kirk were resurfaced. Fans were lining up the dots like they were solving a national secret. That's exactly why people were still glued to every post, every clip, every subtle digital glance, searching for the first tiny hint that the truth might finally be creeping into the open. The first revelation, custody of himself. Just when it couldn't get any stranger, it did. When Joe Rogan's full podcast episode finally dropped, all 4 hours and 22 minutes of it, fans who scrubbed through to the part from the clip realized what they had seen was only the surface. The real content was way deeper and way more unsettling. Rogan didn't just casually name drop Charlie Kirk. He spent nearly 30 minutes questioning everything. His tone was calm, but it was calculated. It was the sound of a man walking on an extremely high tightrope, knowing that one wrong word could send him falling. "There are just too many things that don't line up," he said, reading from notes he clearly prepared. Then he dived into a list of inconsistencies that sounded like scenes from an investigative thriller. He pointed out that bizarre, now deleted photo of the alleged suspect. He raised questions about the equipment that was supposedly used. He highlighted 2-hour time gaps in the official timeline that made no logical physical sense. If this were a movie, Rogan said, looking directly into his main camera, nobody would believe it. The script would be rejected for being too sloppy, too convenient. His tone wasn't angry, it was sharp, controlled, and eerily thoughtful. You could feel it through the screen. Rogan knew he was poking at something sensitive, something much bigger than him. But the internet truly, irrevocably lost its collective mind when he said, "I almost texted someone when it happened, someone who knew him. I didn't know what to say, so I said nothing, and I regretted it." That one sentence, "I almost texted someone," it became the new obsession. Millions paused the video, they rewound, they slowed it down, listening to the inflection. Who was that someone? Was it Elon? Was it Candace Owens? Or was it someone directly tied to the mysterious situation itself? Someone like the widow. The guessing game turned into full-blown chaos. Every second of Rogan's 30-minute monologue was picked apart like a crime scene. Viewers on Reddit broke down each frame. When his eyes moved to the left, when his tone softened for a fraction of a second, when a pause felt just a little too long. Suddenly, the online crowd started saying Rogan wasn't just a host anymore. He had, somehow, become part of the mystery itself. Some media analysts, trying to make sense of the tidal wave, even claimed he was using what they called the pretending effect. Not revealing anything directly, but sprinkling just enough crumbs, just enough specific but vague clues for others to start connecting the dots on their own. Meanwhile, Rogan's biggest fans were convinced he knew way more than he was letting on. Long Reddit threads, viral TikToks, and deep dive X posts started mapping out connections between Rogan, Musk, Candace Owens, and Charlie Kirk's widow. People lined up timestamps, old tweets, and podcast quotes from years ago, weaving them into what looked like the blueprint of a hidden, suppressed story. Public opinion began to shift, and it shifted fast. In the span of a day, Rogan stopped being seen as a curious observer and started being viewed as a symbol of defiance, a man hinting at truths that others were too scared or too compromised to say out loud. The big question kept echoing across every platform. Was he accidentally pulling back the curtain on something strange? Or was he intentionally dropping breadcrumbs for the world to follow? As always, when Rogan steps into forbidden territory, silence speaks louder than any words. The episode ended with a long, heavy pause. No music, no fade out. Just silence. Millions of viewers sat frozen, watching their black screens convinced that something bigger, something darker was hidden beneath that quiet, ambiguous ending. The air online was electric. It felt like more than a coincidence. It felt like a warning, disguised as a reflection. And just when people thought it couldn't get any wilder, Elon Musk made his move in true Elon fashion. He didn't rant, he didn't post a video, he didn't even tag anyone. All it took was a few short, surgically precise tweets. No emojis, no hashtags.
Street hustler tone, 50 Cent style. No explanation. First, he replied to a random user who was asking about the now globally viral Rogan clip. The user asked, "Elon, what is going on? Is this real?" Elon's response, "At 3 a.m., not everything is what you think." That's it. No follow-up, no context. But that was enough. The internet began spiraling, trying to decipher the Zen-like koan. Was he saying Rogan was right, or that Rogan was wrong, or that both of them were part of a big illusion? And then, just a few hours later, as the sun rose, Elon struck again with another cryptic tweet. Sometimes, silence says it all. That single line sent a collective chill across the timeline. Suddenly, everyone was convinced. The silence wasn't confusion anymore. It was communication. No names, no places, no direct references. Yet somehow, the entire internet knew exactly what and who Elon Musk was hinting at. The timing was terrifyingly perfect. The internet lit up like wildfire as commentators, big and small, started connecting dots faster than ever. The timing of Elon's cryptic tweets matched almost perfectly, down to the minute, with the moment Joe Rogan had mentioned that he almost texted someone. And that's when the theories truly exploded. Some believed Elon was subtly confirming that he was the someone Rogan almost texted. Others were convinced it was one of his famous 4D chess social experiments, testing how fast information or disinformation could spread and mutate in real time. But whether it was by pure chaotic accident or by precise diabolical design, the timing was too perfect to ignore. Suddenly, it looked like two of the most influential voices in the world were sending each other coded messages, and the entire internet was their decoding room. Within hours, Reddit was packed with massive timelines, matching the exact moments Rogan spoke to when Elon tweeted, down to the second. On TikTok, thousands of videos popped up trying to decode the now infamous line, "Silence speaks volumes." Everyone had their own theory, from hidden government deals to deeply personal secrets, and some even tied it back to Elon's older Stranger interviews about truth being stranger than fiction. But before anyone could settle on a single explanation, Candace Owens dropped into the chaos like a thunderstorm. And in typical Candace fashion, she didn't tiptoe in, she made it dramatic. She scheduled a live stream for 8 p.m. The title, "They're Lying to You." She went live with a calm, almost serene face. The viewer count skyrocketed past 500,000. She started her video with a line that sent chills through her followers. "It's all happening just like I said it would." That was the opener. No details, no proof, just tension so thick you could feel it pressing out of the screen. In minutes, her name was trending everywhere, right alongside Musk and Rogan. The domino effect was now complete. Rogan had started it, Elon had pushed it further, and now Candace was setting it on fire. 3 names, 3 voices, and millions of users spinning theories faster than they could refresh their feeds. People became obsessed with finding a hidden thread connecting them all, convinced there was a bigger, darker story lurking just behind the scenes, one that someone powerful, perhaps the widow herself, didn't want exposed. Then Candace leaned into her camera. The smile was gone, her eyes were sharp. "I see all the speculation," she said, her voice low and steady. "I see Mr. Rogan's questions. I see Mr. Musk's likes, and I want to be very clear about something. I want to be clear that I believe, in fact, I know, that towards the end, Charlie was fighting for custody of himself. I want to say that. I want to say that plainly. And now lies that are being told, and they need to be slapped down. Right now, the chat vanished in a blur of motion. Custody of himself? What does that mean? Holy! Candace held up a hand. You want to talk about silence? You want to talk about truth? Let's talk about it. The diary. I don't know who I can trust. The internet didn't sleep that night. The phrase, custody of himself, became a mimetic virus. It was dark, poetic, and terrifying. It implied a man trapped, not by strangers, but those closest to him. All eyes, all theories, all accusations immediately snapped into focus on one person, Charlie Kirk's widow. Then Candace, having let the world stew in that single, horrifying phrase for 24 hours, made her next move. She dropped a single post on X that sent social media into a total, irreversible meltdown. Finally, people understand what I've been saying for months. Live tonight, 9 p.m., the truth. No hashtags, no tags, no context, just that. Within minutes, platforms exploded again. Fans began resurfacing her old clips, the ones Musk had liked, where she questioned the inconsistencies in the Charlie Kirk case.
The odd timeline, the sudden appearances, the strange, convenient gaps in the official report she had flagged months ago to almost no attention. It was chaos wrapped in mystery, and the world could not look away. This couldn't possibly be a coincidence, not after everything that had already happened. At 9 p.m. on the dot, Candace Owens appeared live on camera. The stream shattered her previous record, over 1 million concurrent viewers. Her expression was calm, but her tone was heavy, almost deliberate. Every word she spoke felt loaded, like she was walking a fine line between truth and mortal danger. She let the tension build. She talked about her friendship with Charlie. She talked about his passions, his projects. She talked about the change people noticed in him in those final months. Then, right in the middle of the stream, she dropped the line that made the entire audience stop breathing. There are private messages, she said, her eyes boring into the lens. There are private notes, messages that Charlie wrote about his wife, and the media never dares to mention them. Instantly, the internet went up in flames. The live chat, with hundreds of thousands of users, flooded with a single unified demand. Proof. Show us. Drop the screenshots. What did he say? But Candace didn't flinch. She simply smiled, a sad, knowing smile. She leaned forward, as if sharing a secret with each of the million people watching. Patience, she said softly. The truth always finds its way. Always. And then, just like that, she ended the stream. No explanation, no follow-up, nothing. From that moment, social media went completely, utterly wild. People claimed Candace was sitting on screenshots of text messages, handwritten notes.
Even Musk's shortest, most unrelated tweets about a rocket launch were treated as hidden code, and that tiny 90-second glance from Joe Rogan, it had become a message all on its own. Every single frame was picked apart. Viewers zoomed, they enhanced, they slowed, they compared timestamps, and soon,
because once people started imagining why Candace had shown only that fragment, the speculation turned radioactive. Screenshots of her blurred note began circulating, with people de-blurring it through AI filters. None of the versions matched, but that didn't matter. Each one spawned its own theory. In some, Charlie had supposedly written about secret bank accounts. In others, about control orders. A few even claimed the diary contained the name of a sitting senator. By Thursday morning, a brand new movement had taken shape. They called themselves the Custody Project. A swarm of anonymous accounts promising to finish what Charlie started. They opened Discord servers, Telegram channels, and Substacks dedicated to decoding the real message. Thousands joined within hours. Their profile pictures were the same, a single black and white photo with Charlie, with the caption, "Who can you trust?" Mainstream journalists tried to intervene. The Washington Post published a calm, data-heavy explainer outlining that Candace had provided no verifiable evidence. Handwriting experts couldn't confirm the sample, nothing indicated foul play. But reason doesn't trend. The piece was shared mostly by skeptics as proof that the media is scared. Meanwhile, Rogan went dark. He posted nothing, recorded nothing, and the silence only made it worse. Threads tracked his every public movement. He canceled a comedy gig in Dallas. Why? One Redditor asked. He's meeting someone, another replied. People began uploading grainy phone footage of men who might have been Rogan entering hotels, zooming in like amateur paparazzi. Elon, predictably, couldn't resist. He posted a photo of a chessboard with the caption, "Mid-game is when the quiet matters most." That single line shot at whatever calm was left. Hashtag #midgame trended globally within minutes. To the Custody Project, it was confirmation. He's in on it, they wrote. They're all communicating through riddles now. The widow finally broke her silence on Friday night. She released a short, shaky video from her living room. No makeup, no filters, just exhaustion. She said, "I have lost my husband, And now I'm losing my name. Please stop. But the internet doesn't stop. Her tears became thumbnails. Her pauses became proof. Every sentence she uttered was slowed down and dissected until the comments were full of phrases like, "Notice the micro smirk at 211," and "She blinked too fast."
Street hustler tone, 50 Cent style. A Substack account calling itself Signal Drop 7 published what it claimed were full pages from Charlie's diary. High-resolution scans covered in anxious handwriting. Within minutes, every platform was flooded with them. One paragraph read, "They want me quiet before the convention. I'm signing things I don't understand." Another, "I'm being told this is for my own protection." Within 6 hours, the widow's lawyer announced the pages were forgeries generated with AI handwriting tools. Independent analysts agreed. Metadata on the images showed they'd been created the same week, not years earlier. But by then, the truth no longer mattered. The forgeries had become canon. Podcasters streamed 12-hour marathons breaking down the diary drops. TikTok filled with staged reenactments of Charlie writing by lamplight. One creator even built a 3D model of the supposed hotel room where the final entry was written. Every platform was an echo chamber of adrenaline and suspicion. And somewhere in that digital fog, the real story, whatever it had once been, disappeared completely. By Sunday, the hashtags had evolved again. Hashtag custody of truth. Hashtag they silence Charlie. Hashtag the widow knows. Politicians were being asked about it in press conferences. Tech companies issued statements about responsible information practices. Elon posted a meme of a man chasing his own reflection through a mirror maze, captioned, "Careful what you look for." The world by then couldn't tell if he was warning them or mocking them, because somewhere between Rogan's whisper, Musk's likes, and Candace's blurred photo, the line between investigation and invention had vanished. Millions were still scrolling, still searching, still convinced the next frame, the next post, the next leak would reveal everything. But there was nothing left to reveal, only the endless humming machine of attention itself, feeding on silence, on suggestion, on the collective hunger to believe that behind every quiet pause lies a hidden truth just waiting to be found.